Hi everyone, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. I'm going to give a review of the Kindle Paperwhite's PDF features for this review. Everybody always wants to know how it handles PDFs, so I thought I'd go ahead and put together this video. It's pretty much exactly the same as the Kindle Touch, and I've gone ahead and used the exact same PDFs as usual, just to use the same base kind of comparison. And so let's go ahead and show you how it handles PDFs. So I've got this PDF collection set up right here. So you can view as a list, or you can use cover view. When you have PDFs and side-loaded content, it doesn't show the cover, it just shows this sort of like generic cover, as you can see here. So I've got everything stored up in a list here. It's just a little bit more clean in this regard. Let's go ahead and open up this PDF and I'll show you some of the features as far as how the Paperwhite handles everything here. So as you can see, PDFs are going to be quite a bit smaller than the Paperwhite 6-inch screen. So as far as zooming options, there are two. We have double tap. So that'll generally get rid of the margins, and then you can scroll around the page. There's these little bars like at the bottom and then the top when you're zoomed in, or on the side here, and you see it shows you exactly where what part of the page you're on when you scroll around. So as far as the double tap zooming method, it generally gets rid of the margins. You'll have like a 1/4 of an inch on the sides here. So then the other zooming option is pinch zooming. You just take 2 fingers and pinch zoom in and out, and then you can just sort of scroll around the page this way again. You got the little lines down here that show you exactly what part of the page you're on. You can just pan around. So once you select the page, then it sort of goes into a partial refresh state, and then you can just zoom around that way. It's not quite as fast as some other e-readers like the Sony. The Sony's a little bit faster when you're in that partial refresh state. So it works okay on the Kindle, but as far as the zooming options go, that's what we've got. We've got the double tap, and then we've got the scrolling, the pinch zooming. So like when you have the Sony PRS-T2, for instance, probably the better 6-inch reader for PDFs. You've got all these different preset zooming options, and there's some different options. So for instance, when we're zoomed in, when we're turning pages here, as you can see, it doesn't actually like turn to the next page. So when it does turn to the next page, it actually zooms it back out, so then you have to rezoom back in. So obviously it gets kind of tedious that way. But as far as other features go, so we can hold down on a word, get the dictionary. So it has the other regular Kindle features here. We can launch the full dictionary, add highlights and notes, and we've got the other dictionary options here, or the other options here in the more settings. You can do instant translations, look up stuff on Wikipedia, usually the content notes. So one thing I noticed is if you're zoomed in like this, and then you got to be a little more deliberate if you're doing highlights, because normally if you just hold down, it'll like move the screen like this because it pans. But if you want to go ahead and add a highlight, you just hold down a little bit longer and then you pull, and you can add the highlights. And one thing I noticed, so it cuts off the highlight because it's only showing us what's visible, but it will highlight that whole sentence structure there. So once we zoom back out, it actually has the whole highlight for that whole section, not just what's shown in the zoomed in section there. So a couple of the other features here we can go into the settings menu up here. Just so you guys know, I have the front light turned on to 12, and there's this blaring light on it right here. So that's how the front light's set right throughout this video. Okay, so as far as the other options in here go, we do have landscape mode. So then it breaks the page essentially down into 3 sections. It sort of just depends on the size of the PDF, but generally it's usually about 3 sections. See, this is something I'm getting frequently while doing this review, these low memory warnings. I don't know what this is all about actually, because the Kindle should have plenty of memory going on here, but I do frequently get this. This is the 3rd time I've had this happen doing this review actually. So then once you click this, it'll boot us back to the main menu, and we'll have to reload it up again. So yeah, I've had that happen a few more times now. As far as the landscape mode, you still got the same features as far as the zooming options go. So it fits it to width when you zoom in on the landscape, and then you can use the pinch zooming, or you can just double tap and it will reset it back to without the lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back into portrait mode, just because it shows up a little better on the video here. Alright, so some of the other options up here in the settings menu, we've got table of contents. We can just jump to pages. It generates a table of contents generally for a book. It doesn't always do it. As you can see right here, we've got the list, and you can scroll through this list. Some of the other ways you can navigate is to hit the go to, and you can hit beginning. You can specify a specific page to jump to. Okay, so the other feature in here, the contrast adjusting. So like the other Kindles, we can darken the text here. This actually works quite well for PDFs because a lot of times they're very light, and adding the darkness contrast setting there does go ahead and make it quite a bit darker. As you can see, the normal setting right here, and then all the way over here to dark, it's quite a bit darker. So then you can go ahead and view notes and highlights. You can hit bookmarks just by tapping the upper corner. The same sort of Kindle features apply in regards to that. So then it lists your highlights here, and you can just jump back into forth to your different notes and highlighted sections. So here's a kind of a quick page turns test. It's not very fast by any means. There's no like quick turn setting like with the Sony and the Nook. You can hold down the page button and it just keeps page turning. Obviously with the Kindle you can just do it as fast as you tap the page. Okay, so let me go ahead and load up a couple of different PDFs here. Okay, so this is one I always show. The Kindle doesn't have any reflow. So if you're reading a text-based PDF like this where it's just basic text, obviously it's going to be too small to read. Even when you're zoomed in, it's going to be too annoying to read it like this as far as PDF. So one thing to do with this type of PDF is you send it to Amazon and they will convert it to their format, and it will essentially, it is reflow is what it is. So you don't have on-device reflow, but you can go ahead and essentially get reflow just by sending it to Amazon, and then they'll send it to your device, and then you can go ahead and read the book in a normal manner because it reformats it just like this. This is that same PDF reformatted. So it doesn't always indent the paragraphs, but like see right there, it doesn't. For the most part, it does a pretty good job. But as far as reflow goes, it's just going to work for text-based PDFs. Anything with any sort of diagrams and stuff like that, it's just not going to turn out well. Even two-column stuff, it's going to get all butchered. So just basic text-based PDFs is where the reflow option works best. Okay, so when it comes to two-column PDFs, the double tap method works pretty well because then it just focuses on the one column, and then you can scroll down that column and you can use the page turn right here by tapping on the side. But if there's any kind of variation in the text size, it's going to do this. So there's that picture at the top of that column, and it sort of just screws everything up because it had to zoom in for that, and then sort of cuts off the text here. So now we're like out of zoned for that column. So if the columns are just text and they don't have any variation, then it's going to be better off. But if it has any kind of variations in the two columns, then it's going to get weird with the auto zoom. Same goes with kind of other ebooks too, because the auto zoom just fits in to that specific spot. So once it gets zoomed into that spot, it gets kind of weird. One thing I didn't mention earlier is this button right here is like a history button. So it comes in useful if you're like jumping back and forth in a PDF. Let me show you right here. This PDF has hyperlinks. There's a problem with the hyperlinks though. You have like no way to identify them. So they just look normal. So if you hit like page 72 here, it'll take you to page 72, but there's like no identifying characteristic to that. So it just looks like a regular like number, and then you just tap it and it actually goes to the page. So I mean, the hyperlinks do work, but it's just sort of hard to actually identify them unless you know exactly what you're looking for. Like I said, you can hit that button to use history. So it takes us back to where we were. So this is a large image-based PDF I use to test the performance on e-readers a lot. This is a 90 megabyte PDF and it's just images and all that kind of stuff. So loading this up on the Kindle is slower than other PDFs, and I've noticed that turning pages, you can see with that one, it took several seconds to turn the pages. So it just sort of depends on your PDF. If you got some basic text PDFs, it's going to load a lot faster than these image type PDFs. But once it gets going, it's pretty fast. As you can see right there, it kind of indexes the pages, I think. And then it slows down after a few pages, like right there. I mean, it's just totally bogged down. Probably get a low memory warning again. Yep, low memory warning. So as far as PDF handling, I would definitely give the Kindle Paperwhite like a D-. I mean, it does some okay things for PDFs, but the low memory warnings keep popping up. And if you want a PDF reader, you're going to need to get something like a tablet or an e-ink reader with a 9.7 inch screen. They're just going to be a lot better, like the Icarus XL and the Onyx M92. So as far as 6-inch readers go, the Kindle Paperwhite is not that great of an option. I would say the Sony readers are probably one of the best because they have the zooming options, and also Onyx and Pocketbook have a lot of options too, but the larger PDFs definitely do kind of get bogged down with them too, so it just sort of depends on exactly the PDF you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video review. Check out the ebookreader.com. As usual, I'll have some additional information on there, and thank you for watching.